call the meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for coming, everybody. It's funny, every meeting across the river, Madison, our camera girl, said, "Hey, are we ready, Madison?" She goes, "Yeah," in the back, and now we can get to see what she looks like. So, sorry to call you out, Madison. Anyhow, let's do a roll call, please.
Sandy Kufel?
Here.
Chris Regan?
Here.
Christy Hillman? Here. Artie Bryson?
Here.
Cindy Valentine here. Joanne Shirkey?
Here.
Mark Bouchard?
Here. Okay, very good. Did everyone hear us back there?
Yeah.
Okay. First thing on the agenda, we have a public hearing on the Lazy Lane Special Assessment. We have our podium set up over there. If anyone wants to say anything or any comments on the Lazy Lane Special Assessment. Yeah. Basically what it is, it's a 5-year special assessment, total of $15,000. It's $3,000 per a year. Basically it breaks down to $100 per property owner a year. And they have over 75% of the people signed up for it. Yeah, we're going to. We should. I'll entertain a motion to open up public hearing.
Support.
Okay, motion support, any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, now the public hearing is open. Do we have anybody for public hearing for Lazy Lane Special Assessment?
What is it?
Yeah, what's it for?
It's for the people that live on Lazy Lane for road improvements over the next 5 years. We have about, you want to speak? Can you come up to the podium?
Okay. Well, the long and the short of it, it's a continuation of what we've had now for 10 or 15 years, and it's an assessment to do the maintenance on the road.
Right.
It's a continuation.
Yep.
It's a new special assessment.
Right, it's a new special assessment, but same, they had one and expired, so. Okay, not hearing anybody else, I'll entertain a motion to close the special, or the public hearing.
Motion to close the public hearing for Lazy Lane at 7:03.
Support.
Okay, motion and support, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, motion carries. Okay, next we have a public hearing on soil removal permits. I'll entertain a motion to open up the public hearing.
Motion to open up the public hearing for soil removal permits at 7:03.
Support.
Okay, motion and support, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. We'll open it up. Anyone here for the public hearing for soil removal permits? Going once, twice?
Can you explain a little bit what it is?
Well, you have to have a permit for soil removal. And they're renewing it. We have 2 properties, there's Silent Acre Farms and Blue Water Materials on the mainland. So they can remove soil from their property.
Why would they want to do that?
So they can sell dirt. All right. Can you stand up at the podium? You gotta stand up at the
I'm
podium.
sorry, I just wanted to know, is this the same items as number 6 and 7 down below board discussions?
Yes.
So we'll get to that again?
Well, if you want to have public comments, you have to do it now.
Okay. So I have a question. Silent Acre Farms is wanting to remove soil, and I think that they were they got soil from the Crispin drain, and now why are we wanting to remove that soil?
they've had a soil remove, for your record, what's your name and address, please?
I'm sorry, Neva Covell, 8292 Middle Channel Drive.
Okay, this is a renewal for their permit. They probably had a soil removal permit for the last 15 years.
Okay, fine, thank you.
Yep. Nothing new. Any more public comments on soil removal permits? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved. What was the public hearing at?
7:05.
At 7:05.
Support.
Okay, motion and support. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, anyone opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have bills payable. Entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion for bills payable in the amount of $144,466.25.
Support.
Okay, we have motion and support. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Chris O'Regan.
Yes.
Kristi Hilton.
Yes.
Artie Bryson.
Yes.
Cindy Valentine, yes. Joanne Shirkey.
Yes.
Mark Bouchard.
Yes.
Sandy Kufal. Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Next, we have public comments. What we're gonna do, like under, I know there's a lot of people here who want to talk about blight. So what we're gonna do is under new business, our first order of business is a board discussion about blight. So we're going to discuss that at the board, and at that time, we'll open it up for public comments for blight at that time also. Some of your questions might get answered before that. That's why we're going to do that, to hopefully save a little bit of time. So if there's any public comments that doesn't have to do with blight, you can come on up to the podium and have a way.
Well, mine has the word blight in it, but it's not about that.
Okay, we got someone up here already. You can be next.
Sorry, your name.
On behalf of the Pearl Beach Lions Club, I would like to, I have a thank you plaque for the following. Clay Township, in recognition of your continued support of the Pearl Beach Lions Club Winterfest. So I would like to present that to you.
Thank you.
And is there someone here from the DDA?
That'd be me.
Okay.
Yeah?
Clay Township Fireman? That would be you. DPW?
That'd be George.
All right. And the Clay Township.
And the play you.
Thank you guys for everything you do for the Lions Club. And our
Nice, thank you. And that's a great event. So do we have any other public comments?
So,
This way you know what we're talking about, because the people out there don't know.
Don't know what.
Well, the trailers and all the sites.
Why don't we defer this to our blight discussion?
All right, we'll keep those.
Yep, okay. Thank you. Go ahead.
so I'm George Cavell. I live with this lovely lady over here at 8292 Middle Channel Drive. And just a quick comment, if you folks could do anything to get the road commission to grade our gravel roads, it would be greatly appreciated. We, our local road commissioner, Cheryl Dubé, has been calling and found out that it'll be a week or two before they may get here because they're very busy on the mainland. So this is another one of those things where are we getting what we're paying for on the island? And to us islanders, this is the mainland. And we would appreciate it if you could do whatever you could do to get our roads graded.
All right, no problem. We are getting ready to do the stone hall too. And as a practice, we only used to do the island every other year, but but we started about 3-4 years ago doing it every year, and it's already paying dividends. You know, we've had a wet year, and we didn't have to close Crispin Road, so it's definitely showing.
The road work you did last year, the 5 or 6 inches of new gravel you put on our road,
Right.
the potholes are down to the old road again.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you're gonna
Well-
spend your money again.
Yep, that's how it works. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other public comments?
I have a question. On that gravel, does it have to be a private road that gets the gravel? Is it donated by the township?
No, private roads aren't, no, we can't spend taxpayer money on private roads. You have to do a special assessment.
It's an easement, basically, what we have.
Right.
Do we get any type of kickback from that sense? I mean, there are people that are traveling
Right, it's a,
down
what
there.
road?
It's Bodell Highway.
Yeah, it's a private road. You have to get together like they are for Lazy Lane
Okay.
and do something, you know. The property owners are responsible for it.
Okay.
What's your name?
Michelle Cable. And I also had a problem, we're having problems with the garbage company. When is our contract up with this garbage company that we have now?
It's about 2 years. And there's lots of problems, we understand.
I was on the phone with corporate 3 times today, and they still have not picked up my trash.
No?
No, they've missed it 4 weeks in a row. I was told that they will be there tomorrow to pick it up.
Okay. I need your, afterwards, give me your, go ahead.
36 Bodell Highway.
What, I'm sorry.
8336 Bodell Highway.
Okay. All right, thank you.
We're way at the end.
Yeah.
Are they supposed to stop at every house on a private
Yes,
road?
yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Because they were trying to tell us that we had like basic drop spots that they
No.
would only pick up at certain places.
Not true.
Okay, thank you. Now
All right.
that I know that that is not true, and I will make sure my garbage stays at my residence and
Yep.
not at the drop spot where it's going on out.
Right. All right, thank you. Okay, any other public comments? Okay, hearing none. Move along to the consent agenda. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda consisting of the board meeting minutes of May 7th and synopsis, check reports, April building and zoning report, code enforcement report, and the road watch for the week of May 21st.
Support.
Okay, we have motion and support. Any discussion on any of those? Anything need to be pulled out? Hearing none. All in favor of the consent agenda as presented, signify by saying yeah. Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, motion carries. Next, we have the supervisor's report. Sorry, it's a little, well, it's not too bad. Let's see, Flamingo Bridge, a couple weeks ago, it was condemned, and they were looking at quite a long time before we could get some repairs, and kind of got granular in the way to repair it, and we were able to expedite the county road. Actually, they showed up about a week or 2 weeks ago Monday, and lo and behold, by Wednesday it was fixed, and it's back to the original restricted weight that it was, and we are still aggressively seeking funds to get it funded for replacement, hopefully this winter, early next spring. So soon the Colony Water Main project is going to be a $1.4 million project. It's going to go out for bid in about 10 days, so that's moving ahead very fast, which is a good thing. Last Saturday I met with the Harsens and St. Clair Flats Association here in this building for their meeting. We talked about the inaccuracies of the Channel 4 news interview. Basically, how the bond that we're proposing it for the August election, they reported it was for operations, but it's not. It's for capital improvements. It's to buy fire trucks, hard assets, fire trucks, motors for the boats, and improvements on the building. So that was kind of inaccurate, and there'll be more information coming out on that very soon. But that's going to be on the August ballot. We did tweak our last offer to the MAFF, the Firefighters Union, and have not heard back from them. They've had it almost 2 weeks, and if we don't hear anything, we're probably going to have to go to forced arbitration. So we're still waiting to hear back from them. We installed some new bathroom partitions in the park, and we're working on the splash pad to get it open. We're hoping to have it open by Friday. And let's see, we're going to also paint the floors of the bathroom in the park, epoxy, a non-skid epoxy. So that will improve that. Last week, I did testify in Lansing in front of the representative of the Wildlife Subcommittee on House Bills 58, 54, and 58, 55. Basically, what they'll do, they'll give the DNR a little more leeway as far as restoring wetland habitats. They'll give the Michigan regulatory tools needed to appropriately consider the benefits creating a voluntarily wetland restoration and management. Good government should be rewarded and incentive stewardship of our natural resources, not stand in the way. Unfortunately, the current regulatory environment is standing in the way, and it's making it hard to make changes that are necessary for the better of our natural resources. What really spurred these two House bills is St. John's Mars project. Basically, the DNR wants to build a temporary road that's probably going to encompass maybe a half an acre, so they can remove dredge materials and get to the back. And it's actually going to revitalize 1,500 acres. And then when they're all done, they're going to pull the road out and restore the habitat where it's at. And basically, the DEQ says, nope, you're not allowed to do that, and it just doesn't make sense. So I wouldn't testify. It went very well. I got a lot of thumbs up, and hopefully that bill gets pushed through soon. Yeah, there was all kinds of other, it was phenomenal actually what I learned that day. We do have a full lineup now in our park for Music in the Park in Elginak and in Clay, and we do have 2 dates, July 27th and August 24th on Browns Field on the island. And we're going to do something different. We just found out from the county when we have the stage on Thursday night, for another $10, they'll give us that stage for Wednesday night. So we gave them another $10 a week, and we're booking up. We actually got a sponsor for additional programs. We're looking at different programs right now on Wednesday nights. It's going to be a little bit more lower key. Like we're looking at a couple of people to give dancing instruction. We're looking at a fiddlers club to bring all their fiddles and play, and some fun stuff like that. So we're in the process of booking those, and there'll be more information on that coming soon. Spent a day last week touring the whole township with our new planner. The township, we got a new planner, and kind of inherited it. We had one planner, and he was doing great, and he merged with another guy, and he had health issues, and then Giffel Webster, is it Giffel? Yeah, Webster, they ended up buying the other company out, so we kind of inherited a new planner. Anyhow, I spent the whole day last week with him, toured the whole island, and we brought up different issues and concerns. One thing, it's been 7 years since our master plan's really been reviewed in the township, and it really should be reviewed every 5 years. I'm getting a cost estimate on that. In fact, that might be a good conversation, what we want to see in that master plan. I got a list of stuff myself. We did review the accessory structure, front yard zoning that's in front of the Planning Commission right now. They are looking at how accessory structures in the front yard is being dealt with. Also continue discussion on, with the Planning Commission on waterfront setbacks. I showed him a couple of situations where it's just not working in our township right now, how it's existing. We reviewed the cover well standards and how it addresses to commercial operations. These are all places where I think, needs looking at in our ordinances. Continue the RV trailer and other vehicle placement with the Planning Commission needs to be reviewed. And continue talking about tiny homes and accessory dwellings with the Planning Commission. I also kind of stressed to them I'd like to see a zoning ordinance on medical marijuana. Review wood chip and other outdoor storage regulations. Review shipping container placement and appearances. In other words, we're having these people buying these old shipping containers for about $2,000, and they're really pretty ugly when they end up being sold on the market. Some people are just dropping them on the yard and calling it a shed, and I believe we need ordinances to regulate that. And we want to see what we can do and review if there's anything we can do with seawall erosion issues. If your neighbor's seawall is dilapidated and is causing your property to be eroded. We got about 3 or 4 places in the township with serious issues with that. That's pretty much what we covered and a few other things, but that's what I'm asking him to have the Planning Commission look at. We received the consent agenda, just give the board an update. It's Castaway Bay Marine's owners, that's where the sunken boathouse is. From the date of the consent agreement, they have 60 days to remove the boats or be fined $200 a day. If this isn't paid, a lien will be placed on the property. So that's in motion now. I can't remember the exact date where it was filed. I know it's on my calendar. And we talked to the owner of the property. They are trying to get with a marine contractor or a salvage company to have that sunken houseboat removed. And there's another one sunken boat back there too. We did condemn the property on Monroe where there's this old red trailer, and the owner is actually voluntarily tearing it down as we speak. They pulled the permits and going ahead with that. We also went out there was a condemned build or house that was damaged by fire. We put it out for bids. Thanks for Chris' help. It's on Anchor Bay Drive, and we're going to actually tomorrow. I'm going to reward the bid to the low bidder, Timberwood. We already have the money for that. We capture fire insurance money for tear downs if they don't rebuild it. So we're going to use that money to actually go ahead and do that. Yeah, just a few weeks ago, two houses on our dangerous building did come down on Point Trumbull by the old Margaret Dreams restaurant. There's one by the water and one by the road. And then they actually tore down the old Margaret Dreams restaurant too. It's sad to see that go, but there was 2 dangerous buildings there that got tore down. And then also the house on M29 near the Pearl Beach drain, that one is done being tore down. And just to mention on that, the evergreens by the Boys Club, those ugly evergreens, I talked to the new owner. He gave us permission to go ahead and remove those. Just haven't gotten done yet. We're pretty busy, but those will be coming down soon. I'm not sure if the road commission will do it, or if they get too far behind, maybe we'll have our water department do it. but we have the okay to make that happen. So that'll help out there a lot. And we have high water. We are in the process of, we have 4 very large signs we're in the process of installing. One at the end of the middle channel, the north channel, and the south channel. Basically with the 200, 600 foot rule. And I have a 4th one. We're going to be looking for something on the midway in the south channel to install that. I'm still trying to secure a location for that. And also we did put 2 buoys, no wake buoys, or it doesn't say, well, it says it's a sign for the 200, 600 foot rule. They were dropped last week in the middle channel. We secured permits for the DNR. It takes about a year to do that, and the Coast Guard. And they were dropped last week, and we got the ones with the lights on them, so the solar lights, so you see them at night, hopefully. And people that told me that they're up there, they said that those are working well. So we have high water, guys. And the Corps of Engineers is projecting it's going to go up to another 6 inches.
Oh my God.
I've been saying this every meeting for 3 months. We have high water. You got to protect your own property. There's going to be waves coming over your seawall. I have people calling me up. All right, there's waves coming over my seawall. Yeah, right. You got to protect it. We do have free sandbags. We probably gave out a couple thousand already. We're picking up another 10,000 tomorrow. They're at our water department. I'll see what we can do is to get some over here on the island at the fire hall too. We have free sandbags. No, they're not full of sand. Sorry. But we do have free sand. We're trying everything we can to help you protect the property, but you got to do it. We had the St. John's Marsh cleanup last weekend. There was about 30 people that showed up for that. Made a big difference. Township cleanup, June 2nd on the mainland behind the water department on Muskrat Run, and June 2nd and 3rd at Browns Field. Fill those dumpsters up. We take just about anything. If you bring us tires, they got to be off the rim. We'll take all chemicals and everything, but we ask if you have latex paint, you can throw that away yourself. If you just pour sand in it or let it get hard, it doesn't have to be a hard rock, but it just has to. What they don't want is the paint to go all over everything else in the can. It's just got to be kind of hard, because we can't even deal with that at the hazardous waste area. Yeah, kitty litter, sand, put in there. Pop the top off, let it dry out.
When were those dates again?
It is June 2nd on the island, or on the mainland Saturday, and June 2nd and 3rd on the mainland. Okay, I'm sorry, I got it twisted. 2nd on the mainland. Yeah, we got more junk over here. 2nd and the 3rd on the island. And we could not retain an electronics recycling company this year. We tried and tried. They just don't come out here. There's no money in it anymore. I actually contacted a couple saying, hey, we'll take care of your gas money, but we couldn't do that. So if you have electronics, I mean, we'll depending on what it is, we'll throw it in the metal pile or whatever, but we'll take care of it. But the recycling part of that is, there's just no money in it, I guess, for them. So we won't be able to recycle the electronics. We do have another budget workshop, January 1st at 1 o'clock in the hall, or June 1st, 1 o'clock in the hall. No, I won't say that. And let's see, as someone did say, we've been having a lot of problems with Mterra. Just Friday, last week on Friday they missed picking up Flamingo. This week Friday they missed Cardinal, the whole road. They're picking it up today. They've been some roads on the island. I called them and called them and called them. Hopefully they'll get it right, but it's an ongoing problem. So All right, thank you much for that. Okay, next we have board discussion on blight. Yes, it is a problem in the township. And as you can see from our supervisor's report and other things, we have been working on solutions, but I was wondering if I can get some thoughts on from my board. Let's start off with discussion.
The current ordinance that we have in place,
We can't hear you.
Can't hear anybody.
can you hear me now? Yeah, the current ordinance that we have in place concerning blight, written back in April 2014, with Lisa White. How does that fit with our current blight issues?
There's a lot of it's pretty good, and enforcement can be good. There's some issues that we have now that really don't give us the juice to do much on it. Like how trailers are stored. I know that's a hot topic.
What kind of trailers?
RVs. Right now, basically, it says, and this is actually in the zoning ordinance, not the blight ordinance, outdoor storage in residential district says, the storage of tents, fish shanties, travel trailers, utility trailers, recreational vehicles, and similar shall not be permitted in the required front yard. The required front yard is about 20 feet from the road back towards the house. That's how it says right now where it can't go. The draft that is in front of the planning commission. So in other words, if it's off 20 feet off the road, they can have it. Can't do anything about it, the way the ordinance is now. The draft that's in front of the planning commission, these are suggested edits. Travel trailers, recreational vehicles, and equipment designed for adaptable or adaptable for sleeping purposes shall remain unoccupied and shall not be connected to sanitary sewer facilities or electricity, water, or gas. Tents, fish shanties, travel trailers, utility trailers, recreational vehicles, and similar items shall not be parked or stored on any vacant lots in the district. Mobile homes being utilized while a permanent house is being constructed shall be permitted during the construction process. For the purpose of this section, a vacant lot shall refer to any lot upon which there is no dwelling unit or other principal building or approved principal use exists. Warning note, if there's a house here, a vacant lot here, same owner, those two properties are attached. So this really doesn't apply to that if you have the same owner. And then we're going to change it, or these are the suggested changes in front of the planning commission. Licensed motorhomes may be parked in the required front yard for a period not to exceed 4 consecutive days. After this period ended, the motorhome shall not be parked in the required front yard for at least 14 days. In other words, they can park it there for 4 days to unload or load stuff up. After that, it's got to leave for at least 2 weeks before it comes back. We were getting a lot of comments where, well, you know what, it takes me a week or 2 weeks to pack and get ready to go down south for the winter. Or when I come back, it takes me a week or 2 weeks to unload where it comes back. In addition, the regulations of this licensed motorhome owners are eligible to have their motorhome parked in the required front yard for a period of 7 days upon application approval and receiving a township permit. Permit holders are allowed an extension twice a year not to exceed a total of 14 days from January 1 to December 31st. So in other words, if they do show up in town, they call our building department, hey, I'm back in town, I'm going to be parked here for 2 weeks unloading. Give us, and they tell us, these are the changes that are before the Planning Commission. I'm hoping they'll solve a lot of our problems. And how the process is, the Planning Commission is looking at this. It's up to the Planning Commissions to give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. If they do pass it, then it goes to the St. Clair County Planning Commission. They do the same thing, and then it comes back before this board. So it's a process, but they are looking at it. They've been looking at this for a long time. It's
Along
just
with public hearings.
Yes, along with, Mark's on it, and they've had some public hearings. You want to say anything on this, Mark?
No, just that we are working diligently on these issues. It is significant. It's not an easy thing to solve, based on what Artie said, and the disparities that we have with the people parking their trailers where they shouldn't be, but we are working on it. And I think this Wednesday is a Planning Commission meeting. I'm not sure what we're discussing on that, if that's going to come up or not, but it's on the docket for sure.
All right. Anybody have anything they want to talk about right now? Or?
Well, I'm glad to see, I have it in writing here what you just got done discussing. And it's often hard to get a one-size-fits-all, and this is, a step in the right direction. And it's been a problem for a while, and I'm glad to see us moving forward on that. And also, this wood chip storage issue, before that gets out of hand, we need to take a look at that. And like you said, Artie, those tiny houses, every day there's something new coming at people. And we have to look down the road so that we can see what might pop up and, be proactive. Will it be good for our township, won't it, whatever. So I think we always have to be open to changes, and just because some people don't like it, but like I say, it's not a one-size-fits-all, but we're stepping in the right direction.
We did pass, I know last year we had issues with porta-johns, so we did pass a porta-john ordinance about 6 months ago, and that's in effect. And in the past too, I'm going back 20, 30 years from now, all enforcement on blight has been on complaints only. And we have been trying to get more proactive and seeking areas out, like if you recall the B lane and Ed lane, there was all kinds of stuff on those two roads. We canvassed everybody on those two roads. We sent them a letter. This is a problem. This is a problem. We gave them X amount of days to clean it up, and then I think most of them did. There was a lot of boats without license. What they did is got a license for it. But then as a result, we did write a few tickets down there. So. Yeah, does anybody else have any other thoughts before we open it up?
Yeah, I do. So Webster defines urban blight in terms of deteriorated condition which impairs or destroys. So this is sometimes expressed as the broken window theory, right? The effect of urban disorder and vandalism triggering additional crime and antisocial behavior. Blight has a negative effect on surrounding property values, which not only hurts adjacent property owners, but reduces local property revenue, tax revenue. So the blight problem has multifacets. And I know a lot of people are concerned about the blight on wheels, right? So that's a big deal. I'm trying to take more of a macro approach. Blight costs this township household wealth. It costs this township money in maintenance costs, and it costs this township in uncollected property taxes. So there are a few things that are going on with this issue that this board is going to attempt to resolve by being proactive. I'm going to read you a passage on some of the research that I did. It seems that not long ago, when neighborhoods were built to outlive their current occupants and meant to serve the needs of multiple generations. That means their houses were brick and mortar. They were designed to last a very long time. The intended life expectancy and life cycle of much of the current real estate development has decreased. Many barely built to outstand or outlast their initial 20 or 30-year mortgages. So there's been a cultural shift away from the brick and mortar towards this cheaper, more cost-effective, tiny homes. We're trying to find the middle ground that not only protects our property value, but also encourages people to reside here in Clay Township. I think one of the largest issues that I see we have from a township perspective is the enforcement of some of our current codes.
Yep.
It's really easy to point a finger and say we have a code enforcement officer and he's not doing his job, right? Well, Clay Township isn't really a tiny township anymore. It's large. It's got a large footprint. It's got a lot of occupants. And I can tell you that from a national perspective, some of the other larger cities that we've done some research on have administrations and cooperative meetings that not only is there a code enforcement officer involved with, but we also have a planning commission. We have a zoning commission. We have the education and the knowledge of a fire chief. We'd also encourage the support of the Clay Township Police Department. So if we could form an initiative, and these are ideas that we're talking about, and things that I'll be pushing on the agenda, we could have a larger cooperative effort that maybe the code enforcement officer isn't afraid to go out if he knows that Clay PD has got his back around the corner. Or maybe the fire chief's seen something on last week's emergency response call that needs attention. We hear the different complaints, but blight is a bigger issue than just the blight on wheels, and a lot of us are here to talk about it, and I understand that as well. But I want to take a larger perspective and a bigger picture at that issue. We have a gem of a township here, and I know everybody on this board is really committed to keeping it clean, keeping it looking good, keeping our property values high. So you have my commitment, and I know you'll have the other 6 people on this board's commitment into pushing the agenda that makes sense for the township.
Anybody else? What's that? It's a hard act to follow.
Well, I concur with everything that Trustee O'Leary has said. Being a real estate professional, I understand how you have one great-looking home and right next to it is a home filled with blight. It's very difficult to sell, so that drives the property value down. Thank you.
One issue too is a blight ordinance also has to deal with personal property rights also. It's my property. I have a right to do what I want on it to a certain extent. It's a fine line. And ugly doesn't constitute blight. But I might think it's ugly, you might think it's ugly, somebody else might think I love this. It's the way it is. It's ugly is it's not a defined fact. It's an opinion. So let's open up for public comments. Who wants to? I know Kathy.
Hey, Artie and the board. My name's Kathy Harrison. I live at 301 Monroe. Some of this you did address, but since I already kind of wrote this, I crossed out things that you already said. But first of all, thank you for condemning the red trailer on Monroe. It was getting to be quite an eyesore.
Yep.
So Artie, you know I've come to you several times with my concerns about all the trailers on the island, on Monroe, and they are not stored. They are living in them. And they don't move them in 7 or 14 days. They stay there for years. So with no action taken, some of the neighbors on the island have gotten together and we formed a Harsens Island Citizens Committee to prevent blight. 12 of us even went to the Planning Commission and told them our thoughts. But like you said, nothing can be passed onto their desks until you do something. So I hope you and your board will revisit an ordinance on blight in the trailers. My second comment is directed to the Clay Township Police. I gave you a picture of a no parking sign that's posted at the Monroe Beach that says no parking. Well, in the summer, on the weekends and the holidays, the Monroe Beach is standing room only. As you can see in the picture, there's a grassy area. Well, the people that are visiting use it as a parking lot for golf carts, and at one time there was 5 or 6 of them there, and motorbikes. So I couldn't even put a chair there and sit if I wanted to. So my question is to you, what does that no parking mean? Who can park there? Like, can golf carts park there?
Well, I think it's going to have to be something you're going to have to, once it is occurring, call us and let us address it as it's happening.
Well, that's what I
That way
might-
we can discuss it with the people while they're there on site.
Well, that was going to be my next question. If I called you, the township, and said I have a complaint, what would your action be? So you
We would go out and
go
investigate
there?
it. Yes, we would.
Okay, well, you might get a lot of calls because I don't know how we're going to
It's
stop
definitely
it.
something we'll address, and you know what? We'll do a little preventative ahead of this as well and look into it, make sure we got our ducks in a row so we do end up out there with a complaint.
Okay?
Mike, but that's no parking along the road, right? But if they're
Well,
off the road,
as far as I see here, yes, but the only other thing we got here is we got to look at, this is a private beach, and is this a sign that's placed there by residents? Doesn't give us any right to enforce it is the problem.
Right,
And
that's not
what
a
I have-
township- that's
right,
not a
what I
township
have to
sign.
look into there. Whether there's anything, I got to look at the specific sign and whether it's enacted as part of an ordinance that goes along with that, or if this is just private in itself.
if I remember right, ordinance 57 is the no trespass.
That's trespass. Right.
Ordinance.
So,
I don't think it has juice.
but as far as that goes though, you know, one of our jobs is try to keep peace among the neighbors as well.
Right.
And if we can go out there and have a conversation with them, maybe we can do something along those lines and maybe come out to some common ground between everybody, so.
Thanks.
Okay,
We
my
have no
last,
problem helping out.
my last comment is, I'd like to know when Monroe became a campground site. I went to the township and I got the Riverview, our whole subdivision, and in there, nowhere on the lots is there a place for camping. Now, there is a trailer that they camp, they have bonfires, they have tents, they're allowed till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. And I'm a resident of R1, and I'm supposed to be residential, and like I say, I've got this campground now on Monroe. So thanks for listening.
Okay. Kathy,
Yes?
you said in the beginning you wanted this board to take action. Actually, how it works, the planning commission has to take action first on these ordinance changes.
Okay, I didn't know if you had
Yeah,
to
no.
revisit them or they...
No, the planning commission, and really this board is a total independent board from this board. We do have one representative on it, but other than that, I myself, I'm not even allowed to go to a planning commission meeting.
Okay.
I sneak in the back every once in a while, but, So, yeah, that's the process, so, and like I say, it takes a long time to get these ordinance changes too. We gotta be careful that there's no unintended consequences from them. So, thank you.
I'm Doris Jackson, and I'm also interested in the blight issue. We feel, and this is this little committee to prevent blight which is organized, feel that we need stronger enforcement. We need, as you say, adjustments of many of the ordinances. And I would like anybody who agrees with that, who's come to this meeting, would you please stand?
Just raise your hand.
Raise your hand, stand. I just wanted to show that there's a lot of interest and support in this island about this blight issue. Now let's take a look at this. Harsens Island is not a dumping ground. It's not a trailer park for places like Shelby, Rochester, Detroit, Bloomfield Hills, Grosse Pointe. It's just not. What those people have to do who offend the blight ordinance is they have to put all that junk in their yard on a truck and bring it back to the towns with their residents. Let those towns deal with that problem. That's one of the issues. It's actually human behavior. The second issue, which I hear, is we are not a sanctuary city. Enough of people who say, well, you can't make me do this. Well, I have my rights. Well, you do have your rights. And then you can bring it to those in courts, whatever, to assert your rights. But you, as a resident, whether it's about blight or any other issue, have laws. Every town has ordinances. You have to go with it. You can't just pile junk up in your yard. One of my favorite things is to look on the Marine City webpage and to see what they say in their code enforcement. And they say that trailers belong in trailer parks. End of story. Let me tell you about my neighborhood, which has been inundated by trailers. We have one trailer, and outside of it and underneath it, there's a large plastic rectangular box. Now, I didn't know what that was. But what that is a trailer tank. And a trailer tank is an above the ground septic tank. True story. But it has wheels. Now, I guess what you do with that, if you're in a campground, you're a camper, you know, when it's filled, you take those wheels and you pull it and you empty it at the trailer, at the campground. But now I wonder if those neighbors, when it gets filled, are going to pull that like a wagon. And I wonder if they're going to put it in their trunk or car and drive it to Grosse Pointe to empty. I don't think they are. I have a feeling that they're going to dump it on the island someplace. But that's just my opinion. I don't have any proof of that. This is what we're talking about when we're talking about blight. We're not talking about somebody who, you know, you don't like their tulips or something in your yard. People on the island work hard to keep, in Clay Township, to keep their property nice. We shouldn't have to put up with this. And we want to keep this issue active, and we need strong ordinances, and we need them enforced. It's as easy as that. And we are not a sanctuary island where you can do what you want. You have to conform. It's as easy as that. Thank you.
Thank you. Just to let everybody know, I'm in the process of the budget. We're going through the budget process, and I'm putting more budget dollars into enforcement of our zoning too, going forward. So hopefully we'll get more hours and better enforcement on that. And like you say, if someone just says, no, I'm not going to do it, we got to take them to court. It's a long process. We're probably 10 cases a year that just don't do it, and it's expensive and takes a lot of time on our part too. So
don't they have to pay for it?
no, once we get a consent to, if we take someone to court, it's on the township's dime until we get our first consent agreement. After that, if we have to go back, we can get attorney fees, but not till the initial consent judgment.
So I'm
Your name and address?
I'm sorry, Cindy Pilato, 2770 Cottage Lane on the island. And I guess I have a question with regards to, it seems like we're intertwining the blight ordinance and the zoning ordinances here. And that's a little confusing because obviously these are two different enforcements that have to be happening. With the blight, obviously, to me, blight is unkept property that's being loaded up with trash materials, unlicensed vehicles,
right.
Construction equipment or construction materials. Just unkept property. Zoning issues is obviously zoning issues. I guess the other question I've often wondered, with regards to enforcing and the circumstances around enforcing, if somebody is not compliant, let's go with the blight, for instance, because that is our concern. You make a right-hand turn off of the ferry, and driving to Cottage Lane is awful. There is one circumstance of blight after another. In enforcing, I understand you can ticket them if they're not compliant. A ticket to somebody who's not good is nothing compared to the cost of trying to clean up their property. So do they comply? No. Then where does it go from there?
It goes to court. We have to take them to court and circuit court, and eventually get a consent judgment against them. That can take anywhere to a year to 2 years.
And this is not something that we actually ever see the township doing.
Oh yeah, we do plenty of times. We just got a judgment to remove the sunken boathouse.
Okay, so what does it have to take, or what does it take on our part as the citizens of this area? Do we have to just continue to be the squeaky wheel? Do we have to continue to be knocking on your door? Because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I saw there is a form on the website that we can fill out.
Yep, that's a good avenue. You know, I probably get, myself personally, 10, 15 calls a day, or a week. I don't like where my neighbor's wood pile is. Okay, and go out there, but where he has it is legal, but, well, I don't like it. Well, did you talk to your neighbor to see if he would move it for you? Well, no, I don't want him to think it's me complaining. You get that all the time. I actually got a phone call. I don't like my neighbor's wind chimes. People, you got to start talking to neighbors. And a lot of this can be resolved without us getting involved.
I think that may be the case in some situations, as similar or as simple as that.
Right.
But when you're looking at large equipment, that is not.
That's true.
That is not going to be the case. And I feel that those circumstances are where the township needs to be a little bit more involved. I shouldn't say a little bit more involved. And if it takes every one of us in this room to go on and fill out that form, that complaint form, constantly, and given the number of people that are here, Artie, your 10, 12 people a week, I think you're gonna start getting a lot more calls. We need to be more proactive in making our voice heard on this island and being more involved in getting the township to be more assertive in taking care of the issues that need to be taken care of.
Well, I agree. We know it's a problem. Everybody in this room knows it's a problem. It's probably our second biggest problem that we have in the township right now. It has not been under the radar. We're trying to deal with it. Like I said, we're going to put more money towards it. Right now, I know we have 2 or 3 active cases in the courts right now. You guys don't even hear about it, but it's in the process. Like I say, it takes a year or two. It's not easy. It's not quick. Can't wave a wand and say, get rid of that crap. Can't do it. You know, we send a letter. We want compliance before tickets. Try to do it that way. If we don't get, you know, and try to work out a schedule. Some of these people, they don't have the money, or they're elderly. They don't have the resources to clean it up. So what do? You try to work with them. You know, each case is individual. So, you know, we're looking at the greater good. But like I say, there's people, like they said, they're elderly. They don't have they can't pay someone to clean it up. They can't get out there and do it themselves. What do? You know, we try to get volunteers to do it.
Is that something that can ever be looked at as
Yes.
far as getting? I know with field day, can you go and get, what is it, oh, for heaven's sakes, the people that,
Workforce
community service workers involved in situations like that?
That's a touchy situation. Are we going to have people going in other people's private property? I don't know. I'd be a little nervous.
If they
about
say
that.
it's
You know what?
okay.
You see the community workforce on the side of the roads, and they've always got a deputy or somebody with them.
Yeah, I mean, that's something we can look at. I myself initially would be a little nervous. I'll put them in your backyard to clean up your mess.
Send the deputy with them, and I'll be okay with that.
Okay, so they don't return.
By the way, I don't have a mess.
Well, your neighbor might think so. You may think you don't have a mess, but your neighbor might.
Well, I appreciate your time.
Okay.
Thank you.
I've worked with those kids, community service kids.
Right.
A number of times. I haven't had a bad one yet.
Right. I appreciate that. We have
It's easy to work with and
Right.
it's easy to do.
Got to take the podium. Go ahead.
Yeah, Jim Newman, 7650 South Channel Drive. I just have a question, and just because I'm uncertain of this. In the event of a abandoned property or a foreclosed property or something that belongs to the bank, would the bank be accountable for maintaining that property and keeping
Yes.
that property up?
Yes.
Because there's a number of properties out here on the island that are either abandoned or, you know, in bank possession. They're kind of kind of bad.
They'll have property managers, and it takes a while before we actually find out who they are. But that's who we deal with, and for the most part, they're pretty receptive once they figure out where it is and what to do.
Thanks.
Yep.
Can I not walk over there?
Sure.
I'll be loud.
Okay, your name and address.
Joan Emmerich, I live on South Chip. I will tell you that those of us who formed this committee, most of us are in the garden club. We maintain the triangle coming off the ferry. We do our best to make sure that our properties are well kept. And yes, many of us are elderly. What I think the township could assist with is by making it clear to some of the people who are elderly, who need assistance, that You know, you see it on television all the time where volunteers come and help people with their property. That because they asked for it. I think if we made it clear to people, if they asked for help, people would be willing to help them. And I will tell you one disappointing thing about being on this island, and I haven't been here for as many years as many people in this room. We have been vilified on next door. It's not funny, Arnie.
Next door has no bearing on this meeting.
No, I'm just telling you.
Thank God.
But I'm telling you that if there are people in this room who threatened us and used vulgarity that I would never ever, is not even in my vocabulary, on next door, in print, because we're trying to work for the good of the island, they ought to be ashamed.
One thing maybe your committee can do is maybe get some volunteers, a group of volunteers that's willing to help. Just a suggestion. I mean, we're willing to have a discussion. Shut it down. We don't need it. Oh, I'm sorry, we got somebody over
go
here.
ahead.
I'm Wendy East, and I live on Lazy Lane. And this is what St. Clair Stores has for the garbage pickup. And I called them today, and they said if you could call them, they have containers. They give you the recycle free, and they give you buy the garbage. I think $35. They said every community's different, but they're covered. The trucks pick them up, and they're a great service. And I don't know.
Yeah, that's a whole different topic, the garbage.
Well, the garbage blows everywhere.
The problem is, if people put cans out and they go home Sunday, they're not here to pick them up Monday.
Right.
That's where you have to talk to your neighbors. Geez, if you're going to be gone, maybe I can put your garbage out for you or retrieve your can.
Well, it's the bags. They leave the bags.
Right.
So every home would get a recycle and a garbage can to put their bags in,
But-
covered,
right,
so the
but
animals can't get in.
The problem is, a lot of people aren't here on Monday afternoon to bring the
Well, they
can.
don't, these are big and heavy, they don't.
Right.
blow.
They're not here to take them back to the house.
Right, but they're big and heavy, they don't blow all over and they don't make.
But they're all going to be all around our roads.
Well, they can take it, neighbors can take it in. I'm just
But
saying this is.
I know.
It stops the animals from destroying the garbage.
Ammonia does too. Ammonia does. And our garbage company, sad to say, they probably aren't going to make an investment on new trucks.
No, get that company, that's a new company, it's a different one.
Yeah, actually, they wouldn't quote us. Waste Management or them and Rizzo would not give us a quote.
Right, they said they would. I talked to them today, I'm just.
For new? All right, we'll talk to them. Thank you. You're up.
I'm Ruth Roth, I live at 2764 Cottage Lane, and I'm talking as the president of the garden club. I'm one of those busybody women that they're talking about.
We love you, Ruth.
Next door, you know. But yeah, I'm a busybody because I care about this island. I care what it looks like. Look at the triangle. You know, Rita and Kathy were out there all day today planting flowers. Why? To make the island look beautiful. To make it look attractive. Some place to be proud to live in. Okay? We would love to plant the flower hall again. Because last year, there wasn't water, but it looked pretty good. And we'll do it again. We'll do it again. We'll do anything we can to beautify this island. Most of us are not physically able to lift up old machinery and all this other garbage. But we will help with other plantings. We'll help downtown if that's you know, a possibility, which we'd all like to see. But the main thing that I'm standing up here now saying is, we do have laws that are on the books, that is an ordinance. They're not being, I'm sorry, they're not being fulfilled. They're not, these people, year after year after year. We've been here since 1982, and these properties are still the same.
Some are, some aren't.
Yeah, well, why can't something be done?
Well,
What do you mean?
Dumar's property, remember that?
Yeah, but that was cleaned up.
30
I know.
big dumpster, I mean, we have some wins.
Yeah,
So it's a process.
but there's others that are still
There are others.
there. And why can't they be ticketed every week, every day? Does it take every one of us to sign a complaint for somebody to do something? To send out another ticket and another ticket and another ticket and put it on their tax rolls? And then another ticket.
Like I say, if you want, we'll meet with your committee with the zoning enforcement.
Yeah. Because it's enforcement, you know.
Well, it's part of it.
We had.
Enforcement and ordinances, like
Right.
we went over.
But we already have ordinances. We already have ordinances on the books that aren't.
Okay, let's meet, we'll talk about it later.
Okay, but let's just give me one example, one thing I want to say. One little thing. You passed an ordinance against the golf carts last year.
No, not against them.
Well, not against them, concerning them, where they could ride, where they couldn't ride. That was done so fast that nobody even knew it was going
That's
on.
because it's an ordinance that this board could pass. Zoning ordinances have to go through the planning commission.
But, okay, zoning is trailers. We're talking trash now. You are in charge of that. You have that power, okay? And you had the power with the golf carts. Boy, that was taken care of real quick. This is not being taken care of very quickly.
I understand.
And I just want to see it done.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, keep the island beautiful. Our property, too.
It's not just the island either, it's the whole township.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Let's go about 10 more minutes and we'll have to cut it off. Chuck?
Chuck Miller, 5178 Green Drive. Artie, I've heard some really interesting things here tonight, and one of the things that I mentioned is that it's very clear here that the island, speaking of the island, this island cares. People on this island do want to take action on things, and they're willing to work together to do it. I think I get some hands that go up there. In any event, the point is, I've heard that there's 2 citizens groups at least that have emerged in this discussion out of the group itself, groups of grassroots, attempting to make things happen, okay? I've been on the other side, and I know what the difficulties are in the planning commission. I know what it takes to get something like that done. Invariably, where we fail, you and me, we fail in the implementation part of the program. These people are talking about implementation. They're willing to go out and do it. They don't want to get themselves in trouble. They don't want to get you in trouble. If there's blight out there and they're willing to go mow the guy's lawn and they can get his permission, they should be able to go do it. It's that simple. I hope.
Yeah, they don't even, if they have their permission, we don't even have to get involved.
Now, here's my criticism about us as a group. We should not have a bunch of committees. We should have a group that is working these issues. Now, I don't know where it is. I don't know if it's a St. Clair Flats Association or if it needs to be another group. But there needs to be a group of activists who address these issues and deal on a singular more basis with the board than the kind of thing we're doing here. Because this is all talk. We need to do. Okay? Let's get to the do of what we have to do. Now, let's get together and talk about how that can happen. I think I see an opportunity because you said you're going to have planning commission meetings, especially on things like marijuana, right? And there was a number of
I've
other
asked, but I have no control.
You have asked them.
Yes.
Okay, group, we need to put some pressure on the planning commission to say, you will come to the island and you will talk to us about that problem. because we are very susceptible. We're rural. We're not urban. We're rural. We have different kinds of problems here. Okay? It could spread like wildfire and we wouldn't know it. Right? Think about it. All I'm saying is, what I perceive here is an opportunity, at least on the island, for people to take a hold of the problem and not fix it, but begin to fix it. And probably come up with some really good solutions in the process that you guys can use.
Yep.
On your part, we need you guys to help us on these issues with respect to the guidance, with respect to the blight ordinances and things like that. What can we do? What can't we do? I hate the idea that it took you guys, us, all of us, 5 years to get that barge out of that damn canal down. 5 years.
It actually took that long.
I know that. Now that's goofy, guys.
That's how it works.
2018's coming, guys. If it doesn't work that way, think about changing it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yep. Thanks, Chuck.
Ken made a thing on the channel. When are they going to cut the grass at Boys Club?
That's not mine to cut. Grass letters are going out this week.
Hi, it's me again. 8292 Middle Channel Road. It's great to see all of you here. And we have a voice on the island. It's called St. Clair Flats. Harsens Island St. Clair Flats Association. And we are here for you. And we need all of you to show up at our meetings the second Saturday of every month. Because if we had this kind of turnout and this kind of desire to keep our island going the way we wish to have it go, we would have a really good island. So I wish that you will all come to our next meeting. We need you. We need your voices. We need your help.
Two more comments.
Tom Pike at Living the Flats.
Tom?
I'm probably the only one here that's not for blight, but sometimes during duck season, my property gets cluttered and I got duck boats and stuff. I know these women have been riding around taking pictures in the flats of busted rocks and bricks. Well, then people are dumping that there so they can park their cars because they're losing their shore out on the islands. So right away, don't think that they're dumping rock for nothing. They're trying to save their property. And believe me, they can't afford to bring a dump truck with and pay $250 for rocks. So when you go and accuse people, tread lightly, because sometimes you don't know what you're stepping on. You know what I mean? Yeah, okay. That's all I got to say.
All right, thanks, Tom.
Just be careful. And for the people that are putting their name on next door, you should just put down concerned citizen. I wouldn't put my name down because I've already heard stories.
Any more comments? Okay, thank you. Next thing on the agenda, resolution 2018-17, zoning map amendments ordinance 126 to 128 and 126 to 133. We brought this up to the zoning, or our assessor Barb brought this up, that we have several properties where the zoning maps don't coincide with the actual zoning where it should be, and this is us for cleaning up those the map, so the map matches the proper zoning on these properties. Entertain a motion?
Mr. Supervisor, I'll make a motion that we approve Resolution 2018-17, zoning map amendments, ordinance 126 through 28 through 126-33. Support.
Okay, motion and support. Do we have any discussion on this? This went through our planning commission and our, up to the county planning commission. It's got Barb's blessing and it's before us now. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Christie Hilton?
Yes.
Artie Bryson?
Yes.
Cindy Valentine, yes. Joanne Shirkey?
Yes.
Mark Bouchard?
Yes.
Sandy Kupel?
Yes.
Krista Regan?
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Next we have first of two resolutions for the Lazy Lane Road Repair Maintenance Special Assessment, Resolution 2. This is to find the rule, right? No. To proceed. This is the resolution to proceed to go forward to the next step.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve Resolution 2018-18, Lazy Lane Road Repair and Maintenance Special Assessment, Resolution number 2.
Support.
Motion and support, any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Artie Bryson?
Yes.
Cindy Valentine, yes. Joanne Shirkey?
Yes.
Mark Bouchard?
Yes.
Sandy Kupel?
Yes.
Krista Regan?
Yes.
Christie Hilton?
Yes.
Okay, now we have another resolution, 2018-19, on Lazy Road Repair and Maintenance Special Assessment. This is to set up the second public hearing, which will be June 18th.
I'll make a motion to pass resolution 2018-19, Lazy Lane Road Repair and Maintenance Special Assessment Resolution number 3, and also to set a public hearing number 2 on June 18th, 2018.
Support.
Motion and support, any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Cindy Valentine, yes. Joanne Shirkey?
Yes.
Mark Bouchard?
Yes.
Sandy Kupel?
Yes.
Krista Regan?
Yes.
Christie Hilton?
Yes.
Artie Bryson?
Yes. All right, next we have to approve our St. Clair County Mavis Division 5207 amended Michigan Mutual Aid Box Alarm Association Agreement. There was a few tweaks on this, wasn't there, George?
Yes, there was.
Okay.
One was the maintenance cards. They want us to, as a fire department, go through that section every year and make sure that we have our resources accurate. And the other was the time of 30 days. The county had 180 days, and they changed it to 30 days.
This agreement is a statewide where if something really big happens, we can expect mutual aid from people all over the state, and in turn we will give mutual aid.
It's the agreement we previously approved last August.
Right.
It's been revised.
Yeah.
Those two changes that Chief Rose just mentioned.
Chief, you support the changes?
Yes, we do.
You support the agreement? I'd like to make a motion, Mr. Supervisor, that we approve the Fire Department of St. Clair County Mavis updated from August agreement.
Support.
Motion and support. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, signify by saying yes.
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 Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Okay, next we have Resolution 2018-20, local government approval of 5,400 Point Trouble beer and wine license. That's the old Clark's gas station, I think it's a 76 station now. Anyone want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to pass resolution 2018-20 for the beer and wine license at 5,400 Point Trimble.
Okay, a motion, do we have support? No support? No. Yep, no support? Okay, we have motion and support.
Pending discussion.
Yep, let's I'll open up for discussion.
This is the one next to the Sunoco station.
Yes.
Also
Don't
owned
they
by,
have liquor, beer and wine there already?
Not in that gas station, they have it in the Sunoco
That's what
station.
I'm talking about.
Yeah, this is the Clark, the 76.
yeah.
The old Clark.
Which is less than a block away.
Right.
And only
Oh, yep.
so how many are, just beer and wine, right, no liquor?
Yeah, beer and wine only.
I guess my concern is I pulled the stats up from the state of what's allowed, what's issued, and what's available, and we are already over licensed by 4 licenses. That stretch of road, there is probably within a mile and a half, 4 places that you can stop and purchase beer and wine. You know, I would rather see that if there's somebody who's going to push the issue with another license around here, be someone that would bring in some type of maybe a recreational or entertainment end of the business, rather than see it go to another gas station that right next door already has the same license. It's my thought.
Has it been approved by the LCC yet, or they just applied?
No, they're applying.
They're applying. Okay, do you would the board want to postpone it until LCC?
Well, they won't process it without our,
They won't process it? Okay.
they want to know whether we approve or disapprove.
Okay. Are we ready to call for a vote? Any more discussion?
We've issued 23,
We have permits, yeah.
right? We've issued 23 permits. Okay? We have a gas station next to a gas station that's trying to sell more beer and wine. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't, you know, we have the same private business owner. Do we really need another one? I'm not for it, but.
Okay, that's fine.
It's not a liquor license, it's just a
Beer and wine.
Yep,
Yep.
beer and wine.
like any party store could have.
Right.
Yep, you'll like the other 23. 23.
Yep, that's what we got.
How many of them are in escrow? How do they count those?
Yeah, I'm not sure, I think.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 2 of them are over here.
So we got 5 in escrow? Okay, so those 23, we do have 5 in escrow.
How many of them are they seasonal? Are any of them seasonal?
Well, if they're in escrow, they can come out at any time. No. Okay, any more discussion? Okay, we have a motion of support of the resolution for liquor or beer and wine at 5400 Point Trumbull. Roll call vote, please.
Cindy Valentine, no. Joanne Shirkey?
Yes.
Mark Bouchard?
No.
Sandy Kufelt?
No.
Chris O'Regan?
No.
Christy Hilton?
No.
Artie Bryson?
No. Okay, motion fails. Next, we have soil removal permit. First is Blue Water Material located on Fruit. I'll entertain a motion.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the soil removal permit for Blue Water Material.
Yeah, motion and support, and as you see, a condition is they have to have bonds and insurance, soil erosion, sediment collection permits, all that good stuff. And Sid, our building inspector, has checked out the site. So we have a motion and support. Any more discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of soil removal permit for Blue Water Materials signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have soil removal permit for Silent Acre Farms, located on Golf Course Drive on Harsens, Iowa. They have the same conditions as Blue Water Materials.
I'll make a motion to approve the soil removal permit for Silent Acre Farm.
Support.
And motion and support. Any discussion?
Yeah, well, is that the only permit issued for this island?
Yeah.
These are the only two for the township.
The only two for the township?
Right.
These are the only two that are authorized?
Yep.
Soil removal. That's pretty interesting.
Yes, it is. We used to have 3 and 4, but not anymore.
Not anymore?
Not anymore. They didn't apply. They didn't renew. So, any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the soil removal permit for Silent Acre Farms, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we have board member comments. Cindy?
I'm good.
You're good? Mark, how you doing?
I'm good, thank everybody's input on the ordinances, 135 versus 136. Well, you know what that is. Thank you.
Yeah.
Glad to see so many people here and so many people interested in enforcement of the ordinances, and I think it's a good step forward.
Sandy?
I just have one thing I'd kind of like to say already. You say in our notes here that the last 20 years we've been going basically on complaints for blight, which is a great start. But now, in this day and age, asking people to complain just makes them angry.
Right.
So maybe we do need to be a little bit more proactive and not bank on everyone complaining, getting
Agreed.
angry at their neighbors. I don't want to be the one calling on my neighbors and then have to be angry at me. So I think if we all come together, like we've all agreed earlier, that would probably help this issue. Great.
Great. Chris?
Yeah, thank you for your participation. This is a big deal when you come out, you voice your opinions, you help give us direction. It's a big deal, and we always enjoy coming over here for that fact. Cindy Pilato, is that your last name? Very well stated tonight, okay? I listened very attentively, very diplomatic, I like your approach. Didn't fall on deaf ears. So, I appreciate, again, the participation. Thanks for having us over.
I'll have somebody send you.
I just want to
Can we
say,
just send you the
I know
information?
my family
to-
has a graduating senior. This is the last year of school for seniors. And I just want to say congratulations to the class of 2018. We have a lot of fantastic kids that are representing this area that are going out into other areas. And I just want everyone to be proud of that class. It's really good class.
Go Muskrats!
Go Rats! All right, and thank you for coming, everybody. We always like coming over here. I think we should have more meetings over here. Memorial Weekend is coming up, so everyone be safe, please. One more motion. Motion. All in favor?